Well, I did mention that we were going to get a standby generator, and we have one right now. And here it is. It is a standby generator by Generac. I think Generac is a pretty common brand as far as I know, so hopefully, it's pretty reliable. It is the 22 kilowatt model, that's right. And it is mostly installed right now. It's currently installed electrically, or I should say connected electrically, but there's no gas line to it yet. That will come in the time being, because this is fueled by natural gas. Have a look along the side here. That's the exhaust right there, because you want the exhaust to face away from the house. There is a key for the lid lock right there. Here's the main conduit back here. And don't quite know what that port is right there. Maybe it's for another conduit or something. Or actually, no. You know what? That might be for the gas line. That would make sense. And here's where they dug for the conduit. It goes neatly into the basin, which I'll show you soon. And again, guys, rocks upon rocks upon rocks. Pretty crazy, huh? And this pad it sits on, I think, is you can see my foot right there. I think this is concrete, if I'm not mistaken. And let's have a look inside. Got this, I guess you would call thermal insulation. Here's the main generator disconnect. It's currently off. And here's part of the gas line. A set of keys for the lid lock. Another set of keys. There's actually two locks. There's one right there and one right there. But one's for the homeowner and one's for the service people. And here's the engine right here. It's fueled by natural gas. It's a two-cylinder. You can see this one cylinder right there and one cylinder right there. There's the oil filter for it, the dipstick for the engine oil, and I guess this would be the intake pipe here, or manifold. This is the exhaust manifold, and I think the generator portion itself is right here, and this is pretty massive. Now, what's really nice is that oil filter and the oil drain, which is right there. You probably wonder how you get to it. Well, it's actually very easy. Watch this. Now you have access to pretty much everything. And that is one thing I like about these Generac generators from what I've heard. It is totally accessible for where you have to go, like whether it be on the front or whatever. Like here's the, let me put this against the side here, hold on. Okay, so now you can see you have access to pretty much everything. This is the oil drain, actually. You can just take it off the retainer and just angle it out so the oil drains out. And this is, here's some information on it. No item number, that's interesting. This generator was made on October 10th of 2017. 60 hertz, 3600 RPM. And there's the amps and everything else. So yeah, like I said, oil filters right there. Dipstick, oil fill plug. You can put a filter, rather a funnel there easily. There is a fan in here, which you can tell, which is pretty cool. So I can't wait to see this thing run someday. Again, I can't do that right now because there's no gas line to it. So just thought I'd show you how it looks. The battery compartment is right in here. Let me see if you can see the battery. Yeah, you see the battery right there? And getting to that is easy as well. You just take off these two Allen head screws, and then I think you take off something else here. You take off this right here, and then this whole side panel comes right off, and you have very easy access to the battery. So again, the one thing I like about these Generacs is they're easily accessible. And you know me, I'm a handy person where I can be, so I like things to be easily accessible, and that's what makes these things better in my opinion. In terms of reliability, we'll find out. So there is the transfer switch and some of the circuit breakers he moved around in the basement, which I'll show you very soon. And I did read through the owner's manual, so it is pretty cool, but even myself as a handy person, I still have a lot to learn about this thing. Currently, what I can tell you is it's currently set to off, because obviously there's no gas line yet. Manual means it'll just crank and run for however long you want it to, and auto simply means it'll be off when not needed and on when needed, and exercising, I'll get to you in a little bit. And over here, this is pretty cool. There's a 7.5 amp fuse inside here. Okay, and right here is actually a USB port. That's very interesting. I'm not too sure why that's there, but maybe it could be someone wants to plug in their phone and whine on Twitter that this thing is too loud and they can't do their nails because of it or something. But anyway, it looks like this is like the generator portion, I'm going to guess. And I can't really see any electrical connections in here, but actually, yeah, there's some wiring over there. I'm mixing that greenish wire. You see, that's probably the ground wire, and the other wires are what's needed. And this goes on here somewhere. I just don't know where. So, since nothing is together yet, I just put everything back to the way it was because I don't know if the guys need it out here. I'm sure he'll explain to me how everything works. But this thing really is pretty cool. So, what I'll do is, and these panels do protect the engine and the generator very well from weather, even the lawn sprinklers. So that's great. So, what we'll do is we'll put the front panel back on. And actually, you know what? I do need 2 hands to put this front panel back on, so let me just do that, and then I'll be right back. And front panel just goes on neatly like that. And then once you close this top panel here, you also see there's a gasket on here. I don't know if it's rubber or some other material, but yeah, you just close this lid like this. And now it's totally protected from the weather, whether it be rain, snow, sleet, whatever, right, Jay? And then you can just lock it up with that key right there. And then that key right there. This is another LED status light. It's currently red because it's set to off. Red either means it's turned off or because there's a fault that was detected. Amber means there's a maintenance that just needs to be done, but it will still run. And then green, of course, means everything is fine. So you can see this side of it too. And this is the intake side. I don't think I pointed that out before. And once again, there's the conduit going inside. All right, so let's go into the basement and I will show you how it is all currently connected for the time being. Okay, and down here at the electrical panels, here's the new transfer switch. Here's the 2 circuit breaker panels, there's the alarm panel, and there's the transfer switch right there. So you can see how they connected the thing right here. That main conduit, like that one, used to go into this circuit breaker panel, like you see right here. But when the transfer switch was put in, this goes to the transfer switch, and that's going to the generator. That's the conduit you saw outside. And then it goes into this electrical panel. So what he did was he moved a lot of circuits over, so now this panel is going to be the one that's going to be fed during the generator's running, and this panel is not going to get any power at all, which is fine because I think to have one generator do the entire house would have cost like a lot more money. I don't know the exact number, but it's up there, trust me. So basically, right now it's coming from the utility, which makes sense, okay? So everything that's on here is what is going to be powered correctly. Now, what's interesting is, yeah, just one air conditioner is going to be powered. I assume it's the first floor one. But it looks like both furnaces will be actually fed for this, okay? So that's actually good. So then, I guess heating is kind of more important when you think about it in some terms, but so both furnaces will actually work correctly, and we will get one AC unit that works if the power's out. And like I said, I believe this is the first floor one. And here's both radon fan circuits. So especially for those, if the power's out, no problem. The generator will feed the radon fans, and those will go as normal. You can see refrigerator, sump pump, anything else that's in here. So it's good. And the garage, so you know we can open and close the garage doors if need be with the openers. And yeah, hot water, everything. So it's all, and remember, this is a gas water heater, but it has a power vent, so it requires electricity. So, but the thing is, you know, once this is all set up, that really won't matter anymore. And you can see how he moved everything over here, which is really good. The transfer switch really isn't much to see in there. I could take this panel off. Let me see. Oh, boy, I put that screw on really tight. There we go. I was the last one to use this, so. And there we go. Okay. So here's the utility service disconnect, 200 amps, and there's the transfer switch right there. You see that little brass looking thing with the hole? That's the switch itself, and this little tool you see taped on the side here is a little lever that you can put in there to make the transfer switch go between utility, as you can see right there, or generator. Now, I believe this does switch automatically. No, yeah, it does switch automatically because I read in the owner's manual it does. If by chance you had to manually move the transfer switch for testing, you can put that tool in there and then move the transfer switch accordingly to whatever setting you want. And I want to put this panel back on, but I need 2 hands, so just give me a second. So now let me go ahead and show you how this is going to be fueled. Like I said, it's going to be by natural gas. The only issue is just the way the house was built. And this isn't the fault of the builders. This is just because, you know, we never said we were going to get a standby generator when the house was being built, so they didn't take that into consideration. So, not they're doing, but this part isn't hard, but it does cost a little bit of money. The gas valve manifold, which you're all familiar with by this point. As you can tell, I just walked to the other side of the house. So he's obviously going to have to run a gas line from here all the way to the outside of that side of the house. Now, what he's going to do is he's going to come off the gas main. This is coming from the gas meter right here, okay? And I think he's going to make this into a T, if I'm not mistaken. This is going to stay the same, but going to the left, I believe, is going to be, I believe he said 1.5 inch gas line. And I think the gas meter is going to have to be changed to accommodate that pressure. So, which isn't a bad thing or anything, but just something that they got to change. So the gas line would basically come up here, and then obviously, while we're down here, down here, go across the ceiling, and then over there to the generator, which is just outside that wall there. So that's the only part that's kind of requires a little bit more labor, so to say. But it's not like a bad thing or anything. It just requires a little bit more to get done. And aside from that, this installation looks pretty good. Looks nice and clean. It worked great that this wood paneling that they put on the foundation wall specifically for these had the space here. So that really worked out well, and you can see it goes up there. And one of the things I'm very happy about down here in the basement is that this is never going to get painted, this wood. So one thing I personally hate, and this is just a personal opinion of mine, is that when people paint over electrical panels, conduits, wires, like, I hate it when they do that. It doesn't look as good afterwards. Being unpainted just looks much cooler. That's just my opinion, okay? There is one little problem I have with this installation right now, okay? Now, they're not completely finished, and I'm sure they got more to do. But there's one thing that they did that the way it currently still is, it's not too safe. Let me show you what that is. On the other panel here, okay, you can see that they moved over the circuit breakers to the other panel where the generator is going to feed into. But the only problem I have is this is what you currently have when you don't have any circuit breakers in place, okay? Well, these had breakers in place, but now it's a completely open space, okay? You see those metal prongs in there? There's currently 240 volts or whatever, I believe that's what it is, going through those prongs right now, okay? So let's just say if I were to touch those prongs, you probably wouldn't be seeing this video right now. So I really don't like how they left it like this. I mean, if they're going to replace this inner panel, that's fine. That's nothing to worry about. But I really hope they're not going to leave it like this, because if they do, I'm going to be like, no, you got to give us a new inner panel. You can't just leave it open like that. That's incredibly unsafe. Especially if it's like dark and you're trying to find what circuit breaker to hit. Yeah, no, if you touch those prongs, yeah, very bad news. Just long story short, so we'll see what they do. But yeah, you can see how the setup is for right now, and I'm sorry I can't get a run-up for you right now because there's no fuel for it, but don't worry, once that actually does happen, I will certainly give you a run-up of that generator. I'm sure you would love to see it. So there's a setup for right now, guys. Going along pretty well, and once there's more updates on it, just like the backyard, I will give you more videos on it, okay? So there you go. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.